Welcome to Kagera National Park. Its brand new reception is now operational.
It's called the Kagera National Park, and normally the Kagera is this river that borders Tanzania and Rwanda. And actually it's the same river that goes up to the Nile.
Originally, the park covered 2,500 kilometers squared in eastern Rwanda, and now it covers 1,200 kilometers squared due to a land redistribution exercise that took place in 1997. Kagera National Park touches on Kayonza, Gatsibo and Nyagatare districts in the eastern province. It lies along the border between Rwanda and Tanzania. It was created to protect animals and vegetation in 3 ecoregions, namely savanna, mountain and swamp.
So normally each and every species of the animals lives where he feels he's able to live. They say like hippos, their life is water because, they've got a bare skin which dries so quickly, so they can't stand the heat in the daytime. Crocodiles as well, their life is water. So they are not land animal actually. Like hippos, at night they can come out of water, they graze the whole night, and early in the morning they get back to the water. And other animals, let's say like giraffes, like buffaloes, zebras, and we have different species of antelopes. They actually like this area of the hills and valleys because it's more open than the area on the wetland. Because, always near the water, the vegetation is quite different from the hills, from the valleys. Because they have enough water, so they grow thick and with lots of bushes. So some of the animals, they are actually not like that place because it's not open. And some they do like elephants because they are quite big, and like hippos as well. They are not disturbed by any predators as well. Like the antelopes, like buffaloes, like zebras. So they can only come down for a drink in a dry season, and then after that they get back to their former area. Thanks very much for listening.
Thank you. Very good. We're excited. We're from Canada.
Ready?
Yes, ready.
And these are the Maasai giraffes, and they were introduced from Kenya. We didn't have any giraffes in Rwanda before, and they brought on 6, and now we have about 60 of them. So they are quite, and the gestation period of a giraffe is 14.5 months. That they are do like kind of fighting, and normally they do it with the nets. They call it a necking fight.
During the game drive, along a well-designed network of tracks, there are plenty of animals one can see, including herds of giraffes, elephants, buffaloes, zebra, antelopes, baboons, and many other mammal species. A boat ride in Lake Ihema provides an opportunity to see hippos, crocodiles, and other aquatic species, and takes you to Kwa Nyirabioro, a small but historical island on which you find crocodiles and hippos resting on the beach. Kagera National Park is also home to more than 500 bird species. In what looks like a completely different world, a night game drive offers tourists an opportunity to see animals they won't see during the day. After touring it, reactions are, it is amazing.
The park has a lot to please tourists. At this very place, we are witnessing the beauty of Rwanda. We have been very pleased to see animals like the giraffe there. The park has a wonderful nature and fresh air. This is my very first visit to a park, and it is very amazing.
We were very eager to visit the park. We used to hear about it from others or learn about it on TV. We are now experiencing it. It is a very pleasing experience.
Oh, it's very beautiful. The hills are rolling and the giraffes that we've seen, and you can see them up close, and it's very nice. Pretty much what we've seen. I mean, I didn't expect to see all the animals up close right away, but almost immediately we saw a group of giraffes, and that was exciting. I'll tell them if they can to come and visit Rwanda, because it's a beautiful country, and Kagera is a beautiful park.
The buffalo, we saw a lot of buffalo, which was really exciting because they were taking a rest time, so we saw male and female, and that was identified. And the giraffes were just wandering around, and actually they did their neck hitting business, and that was just amazing to see, and I caught some on video, so I'm really happy to take that back home.
These tourists visited the park for one day, and here you have the host couple that toured the park on a daily basis for a period of more than 2 weeks.
Well, it's a beautiful place. What I like about it in relation to other parks I've been, it's a diversity of the incredible beautiful scenery when you go up in the mountains, and then the almost inaccessible swamp area, which of course you can see is already a very big difference, and of course there is so much space for lots of animals.
We had a really good chance to experience the whole park from south to north, back and forth, and see the whole variety of all the animals and the diversity of the park. And I absolutely love the stunning landscapes that you get on that ridge road. You just can't get enough of it. And especially if you go at various times of the day, like we've been in the very early morning, like 6 o'clock, you have the fog rising, and it's absolutely stunning. And any time you go of the day, you find a different view, actually. And of course, the animals, the hippos are exciting, and crocodiles, and boat strips, and of course, the fish eagles around Ruzizi camp. Is for somebody who loves birds, it's something very special to see so many of them, and so close, actually. So that was a great experience.
All visitors appreciate what the park has today, but the best is yet to come, because the park is undergoing modernization and renovation thanks to a partnership that was established between Rwanda Development Board, RDB, and African Parks, a South African-based NGO.
In 2009, the government of Rwanda invited African Parks Network, a South African-based NGO, to come and help manage Kagera National Park, primarily to join with the RDB, African Parks, and RDB to form a company called Kagera Management Company, which is in charge of the management of Kagera National Park as a whole. African Parks is a 10-year-old organization with a lot of experience in 7 other countries: Malawi, Zambia, Congo, Chad, and now Rwanda, managing other government parks. So we've brought the expertise with us and the funding with us to try and rebuild Kagera. So far, immediate impact has been to fix the roads in Kagera National Park so we can promote tourism, increase law enforcement and coverage of the park, and we've increased the infrastructure of the park.
The partnership between African Parks and RDB is bearing fruit. In 2011, Kagera National Park saw a significant increase in tourist numbers, with 20,657 guests visiting the park and generating $400,000 in revenue. This represents 30% in tourism revenue and 35% in tourist numbers compared to figures of 2010. In 2012, the park also did well in generating revenues and tourist attraction. There was an increase of over 73% in park revenue from 2010 to end of October 2012. This resulted in an increase of 40% in visitor numbers over the same period. For these achievements to be maintained and sustained, a Kagera management company has put increased attention on law enforcement to curb poaching activities. Rangers were recruited through an intensive training and provided with appropriate equipment. Patrol coverage was increased, resulting into the arrest of more than 300 poachers.
To curb down the problem of poaching, and one of the equipments that we are putting in place first are the cars that are facilitating patrols, and then also networking inside the park, putting proper roads that facilitate faster movements to apprehend or arrest poachers. And then also in general, the fence is there to bring down the animal-human conflicts in general, poaching inclusive. We'll be recruiting new rangers who will be joining the ones that we're remaining with, that have been seconded to the company that is managing Kagera National Park. Currently we have 23 rangers, so we are approximately we will be recruiting an equal number. With that number, I think it's ineffective with good equipment. The problem will be curbed.
Some of the key elements that we have been working on has been the fencing, which is near completion. I think this will help in terms of reducing the conflicts or the issues that have emanated from animals going out of the park, but also protecting the wildlife that is within the park. It also allows to be able to do a proper zoning, which basically entails, what are the trends, where are the animals found. So far, there've already been some work in terms of rehabilitations of roads within the park. We are working with different stakeholders to strengthen and reduce the poaching, which is still an issue.
A Kagera management company has embarked on helping former poachers to engage in other income-generating activities through cooperatives. It is as well educating surrounding communities on park conservation. It has conducted environmental education to over 4,000 local school children and organized visits to the park for over 1,000 children from the local community. In 2011, more than 3,500 local community members received environmental education classes. A Kagera management company has a revenue sharing scheme by which 5% of revenues generated from the park are invested into community outreach programs like supplying clean water.
Every national park needs to have a community department. You can't have a national park without the community. Otherwise, we'll always be in conflict. So there's a lot of sensitization taking place, a lot of IGA's income generating activities. 5% of our revenue here at Kagera is generated into the community, making cooperatives, dairy cooperative. We're part of the 1 cow per family scheme as well. And most importantly, as mentioned already, is employment. If we're here, we need to bring employment, which brings money directly to the communities, but also directly in the pocket of the people.
For the last 2.5 years, a Kagera management company employed more than 200 community members on average. These employees pocketed home approximately $315,000 US. The partnership between RDB and African Parks is based on a 20-year renewable agreement. A Kagera management company believes the first 5 years of that partnership are very important in achieving the vision of Kagera National Park.
Okay, the first 5 years is the most important years of developing Kagera. After that, we should have developed and put enough income, capital expenditure in for it to become self-sustainable, which is the vision of Kagera. But the first 5-year budget, we have a budget of $10 million, which is capital expenditure, but also operational expenditure. We've got to remember that there are key components such as law enforcement, which is not infrastructure, but monitoring the park, equipping the rangers with proper equipment to patrol, to reduce the impact of poaching. There's fencing projects, and also the new lodges which we've built, which has already used $600,000 this last year. We've built new offices, new workshop, management houses, staff houses, doing staff training. So all of these components are considered in basically the $10 million for the 5-year development stage. As we identify that tourism is a key component for Kagera to make it self-sustainable, as I said, we've fixed the roads, but we've brought in new vehicles to do tourism drives. We've brought in new products of night drives. We've brought in 3 new boats to do boating safaris for tourists so they can get to see animals like crocodiles and hippos. And just in this last month, we've opened a new lodge called Ruzizi Tented Camp.
The new lodge, known as Ruzizi Tented Camp, came as an alternative accommodation to visitors in Kagera National Park. Its location on the shores of Lake Ihema and in the middle of magnificent trees makes it a unique structure in the country, offering visitors a rare experience.
Kagera specifically has got Ruzizi Tented Camp or Tented Lodge. It's the first in Rwanda, so it's something totally unique. Accommodation is all based in tents, so it's a little bit more upper market than your normal camping style. So that's quite unique. So if you want something totally unique, come to Kagera.
It was a fantastic experience. Coming from colder Norway, it's very good to come here and actually sit and have a nice quiet dinner outside with an open fire, listening to the animals, the birds, and just enjoying with people in a very small atmosphere. The night in the tent was very good, because you can, when you stay and you listen to all the animals, all the different sounds, you hear the hippo. We went up in the morning to see them, so you actually saw them here on the riverside, on the lakeside. It's good.
Yeah, I know. I believe it's a kind of a first in Rwanda, this sort of camp, and it's absolutely stunning. I'm impressed, very impressed. The food has been great. The rooms, the tents are comfortable. They look after you very well here, so you know there's nothing that you could wish for more. You can recommend it to anybody to come here, have a great time, especially at Ruzizi Camp.
Ruzizi Tented Camp is not alone in making Kagera National Park a unique place. The park's landscape, vegetation and animals offer a special experience to visitors.
I've been to different parks. I've been to Masai Mara and other parks in the area. I think what is unique here is that you have the lake, so it's a combination of lake and plains, and it's very nice. Gives a different atmosphere.
Last night we had a beautiful moonrise, which is actually quite rare, you know, to see this. And then of course you listen to the noises and the water in the jungle, and I mean it carries on throughout the night. It's quite amazing, you know. Sometimes you don't have to see an animal, but you know it's there, you know, and it's absolutely full of life.
Scenery in Kagera is absolutely stunning. You've got some viewpoints here that are second to none. Coming from South Africa, it's a totally different experience over here. The activities in the park is quite diverse. We've got game drives, we've got Lake Ihema, so we do a couple of boat trips. You can see fish eagles, hippo, crocodiles. So it's a really nice park to come and visit. Really, really nice park.
Both local and foreign tourists are welcome to enjoy the beauty of Kagera National Park. visitors from Rwanda have a chance to tour the park at a lesser price.
I came to visit this park in order to enjoy our country's beauty. As a Rwandan, I wanted also to know animals living in the park. What I liked the most about it is that I saw buffaloes, zebra, antelopes, and bush pigs. I had never seen any of these animals before. Rwandans can visit the park. Prices are affordable as the government has facilitated Rwandans who want to visit the park.
Visitors of Kagera National Park appreciate how the park is managed. They even believe a bright future lies ahead for the park.
Management, of course, is tops. I think it's very well done, very well done.
I actually see a great future. Because, I mean, this is only the beginning and there's not really such an abundance of animals that you will see in 10 years' time. I'm absolutely sure about it. You know, this is only the beginning. So, and it's exciting. It's an exciting park. It really is. All these lakes, they're just, when you look up from the Ridge Road down onto the lakes, it's unbelievable. And people are doing a great job here already, so I just can imagine that when we come back in 10 years' time, it will be a magnificent park with beautiful animals.
Kagera Management Company says it is working hard to make the park more pleasant for visitors.
For the future, obviously, we'd like Kagera to become a Big 5 national park, which means we'd like it to have the rhino and the lion, which have been missing for the last years. And that will be complemented with what we already have, the elephant, the buffalo, the leopard. So we'd like it to become a Big 5 park, which is very good for tourism. We'd like to also, in the north of the park, possibly build another lodge, another luxury lodge, and keep the protection of the animals so they multiply, and keep increasing the products like walking trails, walking safaris, and such.
We think that the Kagera National Park has a great future. We have been in partnership with the Kagera Management Company on the management of the park. We're looking at starting reintroduction, and we feel that will also give an opportunity. If we have a rhino, for instance, into the park, that will be a value addition, and see how we can in the near future offer the Big 5. So I would say it's really integrating all these different initiatives to make the park and its surrounding quite an attraction that will benefit both the national park, the tourism sector, and the communities around.
The summary of it all will be new roads, new lodge, new services, plenty of animals. A new vision of Kagera National Park achieved.